Did you know in 1955, during the horse shortage, the Kentucky Derby was won by a mule? Actually, that fact was fake, but how many of you thought it was true?
I did. Yeah, me too.
Many times we fall for false information that isn't always true. How many of you have seen the movie Blackfish?
Me.
Blackfish is a film about how orcas shouldn't be kept in captivity, and it's directed towards SeaWorld. But there's a distinct difference between a documentary and a propaganda. A documentary is a film, radio program, or television show that uses factual evidence or report. But a propaganda is biased information used to promote somebody's point of view. That's why it's important that we don't always listen to things we hear and always believe they're true. Since this film came out, SeaWorld has been having trouble with their stocks, as they went down more than 30%, missing their share projections by 20%. As you can see, their Q2 earnings on August 13th made their stock fall by over a third. But if you think about it, SeaWorld losing money isn't going to help the animals anymore. The money you pay when you go to SeaWorld goes towards taking care of the animals, feeding them, cleaning their living spaces, and paying the trainers. So you changing your vacation to go somewhere else rather than SeaWorld isn't going to help the animals anymore. So what in this film can we believe and not believe? Well, at the end of the film, a neuroscientist with no expertise about killer whales explains her opinion. She uses terms like emotionally destroyed and ticking time bombs, which is incorrect terminology, and she is probably just another animals rights activist. But she's not the only one. Throughout the film, people with their opinions claim to be scientists, who are also probably just more animal rights activists. The film also gets their opinions from former employees who haven't worked at SeaWorld in over 20 years, and they didn't even work in the killer whale field. So how can we trust a movie with such unreliable sources? One case that happened at SeaWorld was the case of Dawn Brancheau and Tilikum. Tilikum, one of SeaWorld's biggest whales, pulled Dawn under and drowned her. But the film uses videos from the scene that actually aren't from the scene, which we know are fake because they don't show any evidence of Dawn, Tilikum, or the attack itself. Blackfish also claims that Tilikum bit off Dawn's arm, which is not true. Dawn was only left with bruises, scratches, broken arms, and dislocations. Also, Blackfish says that SeaWorld blamed Dawn for her own death, which is not true. SeaWorld says, "We have never done that. She was our colleague and we mourn her loss to this day." The film, however, does blame Ms. Brancheau and accomplishes this through former trainers with little or no relevant experience. These trainers were not present on the day she died and callously presumed to critique her interaction with Tilikum. Incidents happen everywhere at amusement parks and interaction centers. So how come when it happens at SeaWorld is it such a big idea? It wasn't even caused to the captivity of the whale Tilikum. How many of you have been to SeaWorld? If you have, you know how much the trainers love the animals and care for them with all they can. SeaWorld is known for saving animals that are injured in the ocean and help recover them. And if they ever get better, they release them to the wild. Blackfish is wrong for making a film to hurt SeaWorld, and people need to start seeing that everything they hear and see is not always true.